artists, we are going to begin the shading of our grid animals. So we are going to be using a few different pencils. So you have your number 2 pencil that you've been drawing with. Remember, we don't do shading with mechanical pencils, so your number 2 pencil has to be a regular pencil. Now, on some of the number 2 pencils, you will see it says HB. In art, we use the terms H and B to describe the hardness or the blackness of a pencil. So you will see different letter number combinations with those 2 letters. So when you see something like this one that says 6H, the larger the number, the more hardness that has. So this pencil is going to make light, hard, soft marks. And then I'm also going to be using a 7B. So B stands for blackness, so the big number next to that means that it's going to be a dark pencil. And the darker it is, the softer it is. So it'll smudge more, it will blend more, it will crumble more. So you're going to use a combination of these 3 pencils to create your values. Okay, now before starting, my word of warning is if you have large, dark areas, for example, the body of the toucan here is black. Your first instinct might be to color that in, to shade that in, to get it finished because it's pretty obvious that you're just gonna go pretty hard with your darkest pencil. You want to save any dark areas for the end. So if you have a black background, save it for the end. And that is for practical reasons because your hand's just gonna continue to smudge through it, creating fingerprints everywhere else. So save the dark, 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 large areas for the end. Okay, so you are going to start box by box, just as we did before. So I'm going to lightly erase away my grid line. And I'm also gonna lighten up my outline a little bit, just in that area. I can still see it, but I don't want that outline to show through when I am finished, because a real object does not have an outline. Okay, and now I'm gonna look here on his beak, and I have an area of white, and then it's going to, in here, be kind of a soft gray. So I'm gonna use my lightest pencil, my 6H here. Now you might be using a 6H or a 2H. You might be using a 4B, a 6B, a 7B, or an 8B. Okay, they're all relatively similar. And if at any point in the project you need more variety in your pencils, just ask me and we can make that happen. Okay, so I did the 6H, but then I see here it gets a little bit darker along this edge, so I'm gonna switch to my number 2, my HB pencil. And I'm just gonna gently add some of that on there. When I shade, when I want it to be smooth, I like to move my pencil in circles or ovals. That way it doesn't look streaky with the lines. Okay. And then I'm going to blend. So when I blend, I'm gonna use a blending stump. And a blending stump is just rolled or compressed paper that's used to blend areas together. So your blending stump here, you want to hold it just like you would a pencil, turning it on its side. You don't want to hold it straight up and down and use the tip, because that's just going to make your tip very flat, and it's also going to give you streaks in your work. So again, holding it on its side, I'm going to just softly blend that together. Now there is a thing such as overblending, so you don't want to blend away all of the work that you just did on your project. Okay, so now I see this white mark there. I'm going to start working on that background. I'm going to go up here, smudge, I'm going to blend this up. Now when I get up to the top, I see that it's going to get darker. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to smooth that out first. And that's there. Blend that up. Remember, you can turn your paper so that it works for the direction of your hand, whatever's most comfortable for you. Okay, so I have my light gray for the sky. I'm gonna smooth that out before I add that darkness. And again, notice the directional marks that my hand is making. Okay, I'm not just going up and down, I am going in circles. Similar to the way one would wax a car, okay? You go in circles to minimize your streaks. Okay. Now, your blending stump is going to get dirty as you work. And to clean this off, you're just going to rub it off on a scrap paper. So you could turn over your reference picture and you could rub it off, or you could even use this to create really soft, light areas. So for example, in here, if I just needed a really soft, light area, I could blend the residue from here onto there. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back into my sky, and up here I have this dark mark. So to make a pencil even darker, I'm going to apply more pressure. So I'm working in layers. Okay, I put down my base layer, I blended it out. Now I'm adding on top of that, and then I'll blend that. Okay, so that keeps things from smudging together and keeps them separate. Okay. And then I'm just gonna soften out the edges on that. I don't have to blend everything. I can just kind of go on those edges and circle them around. Okay, so I'm not rushing through. I'm working, again, box by box, letting it build together. Taking my time, really looking for those details, not just saying, oh, it's light, let's just make it all one shade. Really seeing where it gets lighter and darker, where there are marks, where things change, and really trying to get every bit of realistic detail that you can into your drawing. Okay, this is a new skill for a lot of us. Okay, realism is not easy. Okay, so we're just gonna try our best with it. Okay, if you have an area that you need to lighten up, like at the side of this branch, the end of your pencil, your eraser, is an excellent tool. Okay, I'm just gonna brush that, just soften it right there. Okay, and then I'm gonna finish off this beak in this box with just a little bit of marking. That's gonna come up into this light area. And I'm just gonna, again, dust it a little bit. Okay, so when you blend, you don't have to press super hard with your blends. You can go easy. Oh, I forgot that little box right there. Okay, and so my first box right here is finished. So now I have the other 19 left to go, but using the same methods. And again, just a reminder, save your super, super dark, large areas of black for the end. Okay, have fun.